My son's teacher called him slow, so I pulled him out of school. What they didn't know, he was building something that would change everything. My name is Melissa. I'm a single mom, 37 years old, and I have one son, Jordan. And for years, everyone around me, including his school, said he was falling behind. But they didn't understand him. They didn't see what I saw. They didn't know he was building something far greater than grades. Jordan was always a quiet kid. Not shy, just observant. While other toddlers were stacking blocks, Jordan was lining them up like subway trains and asking where the tracks went. At 4, he didn't say much, but he'd sit for hours drawing things I couldn't recognize: towers, systems, patterns. His kindergarten teacher called me in for a meeting.
He's sweet, she said.
But he doesn't talk enough. Doesn't join group activities. We think he might be delayed. Delayed. That word stuck with me. Not because it scared me, but because of how casually she said it. We had him tested. The psychologist said he was developmentally normal, just different. Quiet. Analytical. Possibly gifted in spatial reasoning. But the school refused to see beyond their structure. Their boxes to BY's second grade, his teacher wrote on a report card, Jordan struggles to focus. He avoids group work. He may have trouble keeping up. What she didn't see was the blueprints under his bed, designs he'd made for imaginary roller coasters, windmills, and bridges. What they didn't see was the way he'd silently fix broken things in the house. The fan, the toaster, even a clogged sink, just by watching YouTube tutorials. At night, he'd whisper to me, "Mom, I think the world talks too fast." I asked what he meant. Like, everyone wants me to say stuff I haven't finished thinking yet. That's when I knew my son wasn't broken. He was processing at his own speed, and depth up by 4th grade, his grades dropped. He struggled in time tests, refused oral presentations. One day, his teacher told me bluntly, "You need to stop babying him. Some kids just don't succeed the traditional way." I wanted to scream. Instead, I thanked her and walked out. That night, I pulled Jordan out of the school. I'd saved enough to homeschool part-time and enrolled him in a small alternative learning center with a flexible curriculum. They let him build, invent, and learn through projects. The first month was rough. Jordan doubted himself, missed his friends. But then something clicked. He started a small side project, designing a miniature city powered by solar lights. I didn't think much of it at first. Just a fun STEM kit, right?
Wrong. He went deep.
By age 12, Jordan had built a working model of a sustainable neighborhood, complete with water recycling, LED paths, and wind-generated power. He called it Green Grid. His mentor at the center posted a video about it online. It went viral. Overnight, engineers, teachers, and even local officials messaged us. A nonprofit invited him to present at a youth tech summit. A professor from university in California offered to mentor him remotely. One startup even asked if they could license part of his design for a public housing concept. My boy, the one they called slow, was now being called a visionary. The media showed up. Reporters asked for interviews. Jordan politely declined most. He didn't like the attention. But he agreed to one article where they asked, "How did you learn to think like this?" He simply said, "I wasn't rushed." At 15, Jordan was admitted into an early college engineering program. He now speaks at conferences about slow learning, patience in education, and how not all kids thrive on speed. Last month, his old 4th grade teacher emailed me. She said, "I was wrong. You gave him what we couldn't, space. I hope I can be better for the next Jordan I meet." I cried. Because it wasn't just a parenting win. It was a human one. I didn't raise a genius. I raised a listener, a builder, a quiet fighter. And if I had followed their advice, if I'd pushed, rushed, forced, I would have crushed the very thing that made him extraordinary.